You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Sharp County Sheriff's Office gets 911 upgrade. New equipment for dispatch will improve the ability to coordinate emergency personnel. By Lauren Siebert, the Sharp County Sheriff's Department recently received $29,000 to purchase much-needed equipment for 911 emergency services, from a portion of the funds collected through the $1 monthly surcharge on every wireless telephone user's bill, according to Judge Larry Brown. In 1998, the legislature created the Commercial Mobile Radio Services, or CMRS, Board to oversee the collection and distribution of the surcharge, which was intended under state law, to provide emergency telephone service, to comply with a Federal Communications Commission order. That order required phased-in access for users of wireless telephones to enhance 911 systems, which provide a caller's telephone number and location to emergency dispatchers. CMRS, out of Little Rock, determined that 90% of our calls are coming through cell phones, so we're doing things to upgrade our equipment and ability to locate people, Brown said. He further explained that the Sheriff's Department, 911 Services, Treasurer and the Judge's Office have been working to improve response and service for 911. We're all working together trying to keep improving services to the people, Brown stated. The new 911 screens are built similar to an iPhone or an iPad Touch, in that there are no buttons, only a touch screen. Our old consoles had push buttons and, after years of use, they would sometimes stick, Judge Brown said. Sometimes they'd key up to talk, and couldn't talk because it was stuck. Along with the new touchscreen capabilities, a new voice recorder was also purchased. We don't have the voice recorder set up yet, but as soon as we do it will be very helpful to the 911 people, Brown said. Sometimes when people call in, they can be very difficult to understand, and we believe this will help to ease that difficulty. According to investigator Dale Weaver, he feels this is another step in keeping up to date. Not only is the new technology much faster, but it will be much more efficient, and make certain calls get to the right place. Those older consoles, we put them in over 5 years ago, and the others were still the original back when they first put 911 in, Weaver said. Every few years you have to upgrade to keep up with the technology. Now that the department has the newer and more efficient consoles, Brown says, the next step is to add the technology to be able to pinpoint the location of a caller. We have plans, hopefully by spring at the very latest, to be able to pinpoint the location of whomever is calling, Brown said. It's rare, but sometimes people will call and don't know exactly where they are. This will enable us to find them without guesswork and wasting precious time. According to Sheriff Mark Counts, the departments are excited about getting this new equipment for the Sheriff's Department, making it easier for 911 dispatch, and a big step towards keeping everything updated.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Fred Super Dollar grand opening. Ribbon cutting ceremony a great success. By Lauren Siebert. The new Fred Super Dollar store and pharmacy held its grand opening January 27 on Highway 62, 412 at Hospital Drive in Cherokee Village, as the first of its kind in the Quad Cities area. Brad Hartness, pastor of the Cherokee Village Baptist Church, opened the event with a word of prayer. The crowd of more than 100 stood in silence to pray for the community involvement and success of the new business. The Highland High School marching band celebrated the new store by playing a variety of songs to entertain the eager shoppers as they entered. Band director Greg Bruner led the HHSMB in the national anthem, bringing the band's performance to a close. Michelle Mitchell introduced the management staff to the attendees, to help them get familiar with the faces they would see on a regular basis. Kimberly Daniels will be the manager of the store. Diana Hefner is one of our key holders, and we also have Marshall Milton. Rob Mosby is our pharmacy district manager, Mitchell said. Ken Davidson will be the pharmacy manager, and we were able to acquire the staff from Max Hills Pharmacy across the street. Mitchell was very excited as she explained the preparation and dedication it takes to open up a new establishment, especially of this caliber, as not every Fred's has a pharmacy. This was a 3-week process. We had the store planning come in to set up, Mitchell said. We hire about 30 people to help us get set up, and usually by the time we open we're lucky if we have 10 left. That was not the case here, and that speaks highly of the caliber of people in this area. We can tell we picked a great location. Everyone here is hard-working. We have almost all the people we hired when we started. Mitchell had the honor of presenting each of the Highland schools with a check for $650 each, totaling $2,000 to use as they saw fit. According to Mitchell, it is a tradition, when a new store opens, to present the youngest customer with a gift, as well as the oldest customer, and oldest veteran. Cherokee Village's mayor, Lloyd Heffley, stood with the staff from the new store, to cut the first ribbon of the day, along with store manager Kimberly Daniels. According to Daniels, she has a long-running career with Fred's and she is both excited and nervous to be here. Daniels noted she is here for the people of the Quad Cities area. To be honest, I am a little nervous. This is my first time managing a store, but I want to know how the community views us. Any feedback is welcome and we're here for you. If there is something you think we would benefit from, let us know. The Chamber of Commerce gathered at the new business at 12 p.m. to hold an official ribbon-cutting ceremony of their own. Fred's held several events over the course of the weekend, and, Mitchell says, they are looking forward to being part of the Quad Cities community, and are here to stay.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
Barnwell sentenced. Jason Barnwell receives a 20-year sentence for the firebombing of a Hardy home in January 2011. By Lauren Siebert. If I could do anything to make it right with these people, I would. I'm a better man than I was. These were the words of Jason Barnwell, 37, of Evening Shade, as he spoke to District Judge Billy Roy Wilson January 27, during his sentencing. The Department of Justice announced that Barnwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison for his involvement in the firebombing of the Hardy residence of an interracial couple, which took place in January of last year. Barnwell pleaded guilty on August 26 of last year, to conspiring to violate the civil rights of a resident of Hardy, and to using fire in the commission of that offense. Barnwell also pleaded guilty to possessing a firearm as a convicted felon. According to reports, District Judge Wilson sentenced Barnwell for all 3 counts. This defendant not only committed acts of race-based violence, but recruited others to commit these hate-filled crimes as well. There is no place in our society for criminal acts such as these, said Thomas E. Perez, Assistant Attorney General for the Civil Rights Division. The Justice Department will continue to vigorously prosecute individuals who commit such atrocious acts. During his plea, Barnwell admitted that on the night of January 14, 2011, he hosted a party where he and 3 other men devised a plan to firebomb the victim's house. The 3 men, Jake Murphy, Dustin Hammond and Gary Dodson, then went to the victim's house in Hardy. When they arrived, Barnwell, Murphy and Hammond constructed 3 Molotov cocktails, and threw them at the house. The Molotov cocktails ignited and damaged the victim's house, but the victims were fortunately able to put out the fire, and escaped injury. Murphy and Hammond had previously pleaded guilty to civil rights violations for their role in this incident. Both defendants received sentences of 54 months incarceration and 3 years of supervised release. In June 2011, Wendy Trabig, who co-hosted the party with Barnwell on January 14, 2011, pleaded guilty to obstructing justice. She was sentenced on December 13, 2011, to 21 months in prison and 3 years of supervised release. Gary Dodson pleaded guilty on December 7, 2011, and will be sentenced on April 6, 2012. While being sentenced, Barnwell tearfully expressed his regret for his years of living as a devout racist. Reportedly, Barnwell stated that he has had a change of heart while working with the chaplains, who regularly visited the Clinton County Jail during Barnwell's stay. This case was investigated by the Little Rock office of the FBI and the Little Rock office of the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives, with assistance from the Arkansas State Police, the Hardy and Waldron Police Departments, and the Scott and Sharp County Sheriff's Offices. It is being prosecuted by Assistant United States Attorney John Ray White of the Eastern District of Arkansas, and trial attorneys Henry Leventis and Cindy Chung of the United States Department of Justice Civil Rights Division.
You're listening to Spring River Chronicle. Audio on the go.
First National Banking Company. Get checking that pays with Super Plus Checking at FNBC.
City Park groundbreaking. Construction of the new Highland City Park officially began January 27, with groundbreaking ceremony. By Lauren Siebert. The city of Highland held their official groundbreaking ceremony at Lake Norandi in the Hidden Valley Development January 27, to mark the official start of construction for the new Highland City Park. Mayor Richard Smith says this is a huge step in getting the park going and ready for the community. When you do groundbreaking, that is the go button. The breaking of the ground will start, and we'll start getting the equipment in there and the machinery and concrete. According to Smith, not only will the park will be accessible to everyone, but citizens can use the park for birthdays or just a family outing, free of charge. Anyone can use the park. If there's going to be a big crowd, we would like to know about it, but we're not charging anything for it, Smith said. With a big crowd, we want to make sure that we have somebody there to help maintain the park. The park will be handicapped accessible, and the city has plans to have a pavilion, barbecue grills, a children's playground and a half basketball court set up. There will also be picnic tables and places to park. The park will be equipped with security lights to keep it well lit throughout the night, and as currently planned, the park will be open from dawn until dusk. We will probably have it open until 9 or 10 o'clock. We do not have any signage made up yet, but it will probably be from dawn to dusk or from dawn to 9 o'clock, Smith said. If someone wants to go down there in the summer evenings around 9 o'clock and sit near the lake, we don't want to chase them off, though. The city plans to use its street department to help maintain and keep the park looking good as often as possible. According to Smith, the grant that was used to fund the park required that no benches, statues, or anything of that nature may be donated, as it is not allowed, unless it is on the portion of the property the grant does not cover. If it is over on the property that's not involved, we may be able to, but according to the grant that we have, we cannot do any advertising like that, Smith stated. Plans have already been drawn up and released to show how the park will look, and the play equipment and things of that nature have already been ordered, and they are expected to arrive in the beginning of March. White River Planning and Development had a drawing outline. We have copies of the catalog and Apex will be doing the work. It is basically a turnkey operation. According to Smith, at this time there is no date set in stone for the grand opening, as there is still a lot to do. We have to finish the boat ramp, concrete, plant grass seed, and we may even plant a few trees here and there, Smith said. We are probably looking at the end of July or early August before it is finished.
Thanks for listening to Spring River Chronicle Audio on the Go. Be sure to subscribe to the paper and check us out online at myspringriver.com.